Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has been campaigning pretty hard in defense of Ron DeSantis's so-called Don't Say Gay bill, which unfortunately passed into law just last month in the state of Florida. Greene is actually going after those openly opposed to the law, including the Walt Disney Company, by the way, by defaming them as pedophiles, which, I mean, it's just amazing how the right wing can go around accusing, smearing, libeling all sorts of people as pedophiles with no consequences. But what's really interesting is, since Disney has taken a stance on this issue, you have all of these, tough guy narratives coming from people like Marjorie Taylor Greene about how, in a recent interview on Infowars with Alex Jones, she accused Walt Disney of sexualizing children and more. But you want to stick around for the ending to this story because there's a little twist. You don't want to miss it. First, the video. Let's watch.
Folks over at Disney, which by the way have a long history of pedophilia over at Disney, hiring convicted pedophiles, you name it. Tell them he doesn't give a damn about what they say. This is the attitude. We're done with you. We're not bullied by you. We're breaking with you now. You can't have our children, you devil-worshiping pedophiles. Congresswoman from Georgia to talk about this. It's good to see you there. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Alex. And I totally agree with you. At this point and stage in our history and what's happened in our country, every single person needs to be all hands on deck in protecting our children and stopping this radical sexualization of children. They're basically exploiting them, brainwashing them, indoctrinating them. And it's hard to believe that Walt Disney, the Walt Disney Company would be the very place that this is happening. This is supposed to be the happiest place on earth, a place where innocence is celebrated, but it seems to be the place where innocence is actually under attack.
Marjorie Taylor Greene weighing in on innocence is definitely pretty hilarious. But for everything that she said there and how we need all hands on deck, what about your dollars, Marjorie Taylor Greene? Are you perhaps heavily invested in Disney? Since you have all this tough talk against the company, right? Against the corporation. Well, it turns out that she has about $45,000 in personal stock investments with this so-called child grooming company, as she'd like to call it. Entering 2021, Greene owned between $1,001 and $15,000 in Walt Disney stock, of course. Her most recent annual financial disclosure indicates Greene subsequently added Disney stock to her portfolio. She purchased shares valued at between $1,001 to $15,000 on August 31st, 2021. And then more shares valued in the same range on November 15th, 2021, congressional records show. She has not gotten rid of those shares, which is weird because it seems like she's helping to fuel a corporation that she thinks is engaging in, tainting the mind of innocence in this country.
Yeah, I have a little bit of mixed feelings about this, believe it or not. And then, but don't worry, I will criticize her. So first of all, you got to at least give her credit that she doesn't have conflict of interest. So in the sense that she's talking smack about Disney while she owns Disney stock. So, or maybe she thinks our voters are irrelevant. They're not gonna make a dent in Disney stock. We're all full of crap. So I can say anything I want and my stock will still go up. But at least she's not aiding and abetting the stock price going up. Okay, look at me, fairest man in America, all right? Number two, I'm curious what you think of this in a second. Like, would you invest in a bad guy company if you thought you were gonna make money from it? Okay, but hold on that. But I do want to do criticism here. I mean, the clear point that Anna's making is still definitely true. Because if you think Disney is doing, quote, radical sexualization, okay, and brainwashing the brains of little children into that radical sexualization, then why are you investing in them? Do you think that's a good idea? Like, oh, you guys are doing radical brainwashing of children into sexualization? Count me in for 30 large ones, right? So yes, there's definitely at least irony, some hypocrisy in there, etc. But Anna, let's say Amazon, right? They're union busting, they're doing all this stuff. So, they got lots of issues. They also, do some good things, whatever.
Do they?
Well, they deliver your products, and they have Twitch. So if you thought you were gonna make a good amount of money by temporarily investing in Amazon, would you do it?
No. I think a better example. So the answer is no with Amazon, but some might argue, well, Amazon stock is so, I don't know if it's overvalued, but it's very expensive. So why don't we talk about a company that has shares that are actually, I can actually purchase if I wanted to, right? There's private prison companies, there are pharmaceutical companies, there are all sorts of companies and corporations in this country that engage in terrible, nefarious behavior that literally get people killed through their price gouging, through their greed. I know that the stocks are gonna do well because we have a corrupt Congress that's always gonna carry out the best interests of those corporations rather than the best interests of their own constituents. With that said, even though some might argue it's tempting, no, I have not and probably never will. No, not probably, I never will invest in like private prisons and pharmaceutical companies. I'm just not interested. Because to me, it's about, honestly, I see it as a conflict of interest for the members of the media as well, right? Like, are you gonna go hard and tell the truth about these companies if you're personally financially invested in these companies? If like your returns on that investment rely on you doing like favorable news coverage, I don't wanna do that. I don't wanna be corrupted by my own personal financial investments.
So lots of good points in there. The reality is there's probably tons and tons of bad guy companies inside your index funds. And there's probably nothing you can do about that. But your point about private prisons is excellent. No matter how much money I thought I was gonna make from private prisons, I would not invest in them. So there's a line somewhere, and apparently radical sexualization of children is not past the line for Marjorie Taylor Greene. She thinks, well, if I'm making money from it, sexualize all the kids you want.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. One other thing I want to just quickly mention about Florida and Disney. Let's also just acknowledge that Disney had no interest in speaking out against that legislation. It wasn't until people put their feet to the fire by mentioning the fact that Disney has donated to all sorts of right-wing politicians in Florida that have pushed the bill, championed the bill, and all of that. After all that backlash, they released some statements, but they're doing what they think they need to do to like stay out of this controversy. So I'm not giving Disney kudos for anything, okay? Corporations are gonna do their corporate thing. But putting that aside, Disney's gonna be fine. Have you guys ever been to Disney World? Like, Floridians are obsessed with it. They can't live without it. It's all they think about. They will squander thousands of dollars that they could spend on a vacation anywhere else just to go to Disney World. It blows my mind. So Disney's gonna be totally fine. Even the most rabid right-wing Floridians are gonna keep going. They're gonna keep spending their money there. It's all kabuki theater. Everything we're seeing with these culture wars, everything we're seeing with this issue involving Disney, kabuki theater, that's it.
I just want you to say kabuki theater one more time, that's all.
I just feel like kabuki theater doesn't get enough play on this show, doesn't get enough love, and I'm gonna change that.
Love at the kabuki theater, no.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.